And for more on this, our principal diplomatic correspondent Sidhant Sibal is joining us. Sidhant, this is quite a strategic and also important visit. Probably you can highlight to our viewers how significant this visit is for India and for Japan.
Well, Eric, one of the biggest significant outcomes have been first the invitation by the Japanese Prime Minister to the Indian Prime Minister to attend the G7 summit in Hiroshima, which the Indian Prime Minister has accepted. And secondly, of course, the Japanese Prime Minister saying that he is going to unveil his vision for the Indo-Pacific from the soil of India. Now, that's a significant comment made by the Japanese Prime Minister. We know both India and Japan have been working towards Indo-Pacific and how both countries can have convergences. But the fact that the Japanese Prime Minister has chosen India to announce his vision for Indo-Pacific is something that will be closely watched in the region and beyond, especially in Beijing. But essentially, the focus was on connectivity. The Japanese Prime Minister talked about how the Japanese government is going to help in connectivity in India's northeast. Secondly, the bullet train, that's the Ahmedabad-Mumbai high-speed train. The Japanese, of course, have been playing an important role. Both sides mentioned it. In fact, there has been a pact as well as to how to support it further by Japanese finances. So essentially an important remark made by the Japanese Prime Minister. The Indian Prime Minister, of course, talking about how New Delhi and Tokyo share convergences in every respect possible.
Sidhant, apart from the mention of the Indo-Pacific region and also the trade partnership between Japan and India, was there any mention of the situation in Ukraine and China president's visit to Moscow?
Well, there was no mention of both the things, but what is significant is the fact that there was no mention by the Japanese Prime Minister on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Last year when he visited India, he was very strong in his condemnation against Russia. This time there was no comment publicly in his press statement standing alongside the Indian Prime Minister. Of course, the Indian side has never mentioned about Russia-Ukraine conflict in a larger manner during a foreign leader's visit, and this time was also no different. But India has been focusing on dialogue and diplomacy being the key focus. But one thing is for sure that when it comes to China, both Tokyo and New Delhi share their concerns regarding Beijing, but that's not the case when it comes to Moscow. India and Russia have strong relationship, both in terms of defense and energy, a partnership that's likely to grow.
Sidhant Sibal, Japan has been pushing for a free and open Indo-Pacific with a view to maintaining and strengthening the rules-based international order in the region. Probably you can tell us more about this and what was said in that joint communique.
Well, both the Prime Ministers mentioned about Indo-Pacific. Free and open Indo-Pacific is a message to Beijing as to how it has been aggressive with the countries in the region, whether it's India in its northern borders, whether it's Japan when it comes to Senkaku Islands. But one thing is for sure that a larger vision will be outlined by the Japanese Prime Minister in a short while from now, and that is something that will be closely watched. It's rare for a foreign leader to visit a foreign country and unveil his vision. The fact that the Japanese Prime Minister has chosen to do so, it shows the comfortability the Japanese share with the Indians and how they see India as an important partner in terms of this vision.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.